Kill me! I'm here! Kill me!
Hey everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Assassin's Creed, the 2016 video game adaptation that stars Michael Fassbender, Marion Cotillard, Jeremy Irons, Brendan Gleeson, Charlotte Rampling, Michael K. Williams, who, if you don't know who that is, he's an actor that I've loved for a long time, ever since I saw him as Omar in The Wire. And the thing about this movie that really hit me pretty quickly was that it amazes me that so many talented actors came together to make a movie that I believe was pretty poor. I think the biggest issue with this movie, there's two major issues with this movie. One, again, the editing. I spoke fairly recently in my Resident Evil review about how like this constant cuts and shots, and this desire and this need to show every single moment from every angle just really takes me out of scenes. And there are definitely exceptions. There are definitely movies that have done a lot more cuts and done them well, like the trilogy of films that you really think of off the hop is the Bourne movies, and those movies are very quick and they have very rapid cuts, but they're not done in a way that makes it so you can't really understand what happens, or it doesn't really feel excessive. It feels like it's a way to really draw you into the action, whereas for me at least, the way that this is done in this movie, there were so many moments where I was just like, oh, it's just a bunch of crap happening in front of my eyes that I didn't get invested in. And the problem with this, with the fact that the cutting, the action was done in that way, is I feel like one of the major strengths of this movie could have been the action, because it definitely felt like the people that put the action together did a marvelous job, but because of the way it was cut and the way it was shot, I didn't give a crap about any of it. So it lost a whole lot of that punch because of it. I think the way the story was told was really poor. I think I could totally see why, if somebody was a fan of the games, why the way they did it might have worked for them, because they would have a basis to fall back on. But as somebody who didn't really know the story of these movies whatsoever going into it, all I knew was that, you know, it's called Assassin's Creed, and I saw from the trailers that there seemed to be some jumping in the timeline. I felt like they really rushed the explanation of how the world works. Now, don't get me wrong, by the end of the movie, I understood the world that I was in, I understood what they were trying to get across, but the problem was a lot of that came from me filling in holes for myself as I saw the action take place. There was a decent amount of this movie where I was like, okay, I don't really 100% know what the hell the point of any of this is. I mean, for those of you who don't know the story of the movie, basically it's a sci-fi movie where the concept is that a current person is able to attach themselves to something called the Animus, which is essentially like a big machine kind of thing, and by doing so that they're able to go back in the memories of their ancestors. And in this movie, the main character, Michael Fassbender, has an ancestor who was an assassin, and he goes back to experience these events in his life so he can find Adam's apple, which is supposed to be like this item that will have the code to be able to control humanity, and because obviously when he bit the apple, that was when they were kicked out of Eden. So it'll strip humanity of their freedom of choice, and it's a very heady concept for a movie that is pretty dumb, and I thought it just didn't fit. I didn't feel any peril throughout the entire movie for anybody, because nobody seemed to really be all that invested. It just seemed to be like there was this plot that was there just to string these random action sequences together. I thought that some of the physics of the world didn't make any sense to me, because one of the things that I thought was really weird, and I'm sure that this is from the game, but maybe it works in the game, but for me it didn't work in the movie, where when I was talking earlier about how they would do all these cuts in the action sequences, one of the cuts that they consistently did was they would cut to Michael Fassbender in the present, attached to the Animus, and he would basically be miming these moments, and you would would see like physical representations of, like, for instance, there's like a moment where he's sliding off this roof, and then you see a roof that he's sliding that's not actually there, but but you can see it, and it's like kind of like ghostly looking. And first off, that to me was silly. They would cut to that multiple times, which really took the gusto out of any of these moments, because it was like reminding you in these moments don't invest in them because they're just memories. They've already happened, so it doesn't make any difference. And second off, the physicality of it didn't make any sense to me at all, because like there was lots of scenes where, for instance, he would be there was like scenes where he'd be climbing a building in the memories, and he'd climb the wall, right? Well, you'd see that in the one shot in the present, I mean, that he would be near the top of the room that the Animus was in, and then you go back to his memories, and you see that he would continue to climb a whole bunch. So am I supposed to assume that in the present he's just continuing to try to climb and ramming his head into the top of the ceiling, or did he somehow teleport to the bottom and have room to go again? It just didn't make any sense to me, and really made me think about that kind of stuff when I'm supposed to be kind of into these action sequences. It really mentally took me right out of it completely. And then they have this whole did they or didn't they, where Michael Fassbender's character was blamed for the murder of his mother, and you don't know if you don't know, it turns out to be his dad, but you don't know why he did it, and that whole thing is going on in the background, and I didn't care about any of that. There was nothing in this movie that made me care about anything that was happening in front of me. It just felt like a bunch of visual stimulus that was shoddily put together and cut in a way that they hoped would make you not pick up on the fact that there really wasn't much going on in the movie that was in front of you. And overall, I just really didn't care for this movie. I thought it was one of the worst movies of the year for me personally, by far. If you were a fan of it, let me know in the comments below. And let me know if you are a fan of the games as well. If you like this movie a lot and you're a fan of the games, that's awesome. You know, good for you. Even if you like this movie a lot and you're not a fan of games, then I'm always happy that somebody likes a movie, because why would I try to convince somebody not to? But I would like to understand what about it you like. I love the first Mortal Kombat movie to this day. But I can look at it and recognize, it's not the best made movie or whatever, but I love those games growing up, so I love the movie even though it's not the best, right? So, if that's the case, then that's perfectly understandable. And again, if you liked it and you had never played a single moment of the game and knew nothing about it going in, then good for you. I just would love to know what about it you enjoyed. Other than that, please hit the like button. It does huge things for my channel. Gets my reviews in front of people that would not have seen them otherwise. And please subscribe if you're new to the channel. I love talking to you guys about movies. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you stuck around and kept checking out my content. And hit that notification button if you haven't yet too, because then you'll get updates whenever I put out a video. Other than that, have yourself a nice day.